is Geoff Kinsela. The speech title is Confession of a Race Car Driver. Confession of a Race Car Driver, Geoff Kinsela.
Thank you, Harry. Confessions of a Race Car Driver. When I was young, I was notorious, I was fast, I was furious. I was a race car driver. And in an effort to shave off every second I could when I was racing around, I spent more money on other people's rear bumper bars than the purchase price of my first vehicle. It's true. My first car, my first little race car, a Sigma, a Chrysler Sigma. Not the most stylish car on the grid. And just to double down on that, mine was maroon. I'm not even sure maroon is a colour. I think maroon is literally when there's a whole bunch of pots of paint left over and someone's just gone, what do we do with it? Mix it together and make some cars. So that was my little race car, the little maroon Sigma. And I've already explained to you that I spent a considerable amount of money on rear bumper bars. So when one day I was racing through this little chicane on the northern beaches of Sydney between Collaroy and Dee Why, I was carving through these chicanes, and to my surprise, another race car driver hit me from behind. And to my amazement, and to my pit crew in the car, and their pit crew, and the other person, I got out of my vehicle, opened the door, and went, whew, got away with that all right. There's not much damage to the front of my car. I was just so used to running up the back of everyone else. Not to mention, I was really happy because I'm now swapping phone numbers with a really attractive female race car driver. I am stoked, but it turns out our cars spent more time together than we did. And then there was dating, the dating scene in my first race car, when we used to drive to many places. But one that came to mind with my first partner, or first girlfriend, was the Lookout. It was at the back of Wyong, near the TAFE. And I remember parking in a specific place, and I must have been lost in all time and motion, because when I finally came back around to reality, my car was parked 15 metres from where I was parked, and 3 metres from the edge of going off the cliff with a bang. And then there was maintenance. Maintenance on your first race car all by yourself. The oil, changing the fluids, doing everything you had to do. And going down the main straight one day, one of these really fast, long straight roads, probably between Morisset and Wyong, and going, what is that smell? That really smells like oil. And then you pit, you pull up your bonnet, and you realise you've left the oil fill cap off. And now you have discovered there is a worse colour than maroon. Seriously. These are all true stories, unfortunately. And then, you know, these days I've progressed onto the factory race team, or what I like to call the company car. This is this invincible, indestructible vehicle that requires nothing more than fuel between service intervals. It doesn't need anything. It doesn't need air pressure. It doesn't need oil checks. It doesn't need anything done. It's all just going to happen at that magic 15,000 kilometre mark. And then the other day, a light comes on and it goes, window wiper fluid low. I'm like, is that even a thing? Like, wow, window wiper fluid low. And I'm like, my first reaction is to lift up the sun visor, look at the little scorecard in the window. I'm going, it's under 1,000 Ks. I can make it. So, and then, you know, but I have calmed down quite a bit, and I find myself now finding things like the beep, the horn button on the lock when I can't find my car at Charlestown or Katara, and I'm roaming around the place going beep, beep. It's quite entertaining. My kids are in on it now. They think it's a game. I just can't find my car. The only problem is when you get into the middle and you think you found it, and you're in one of these multi-level car parks and you're on the wrong floor. But there is another thing that's better about the beep button, I call it. It's when, especially around Christmas time or Easter, when everyone's at the shops, and you see these people who are, you know, they spend, I don't know, they must spend 25 minutes trying to get the best park. I just want the park that's straight to the roof and out in the rain. I don't care. I just want to walk straight to the shops, park the furthest away. But these people are doing this 20-minute laps, and you see this one person that's reversing out real slow, and you just put your hand in your pocket and you go, beep, beep, and the horn goes off. And on numerous occasions, this has created audible symbols, sign language between people. I think it's a great little game. Sometimes it's good fun. And then just when I think that they've had enough, I walk into the shops and do it one more time. Just to be a stirrer, because, there's just a little bit of race car left in all of us, isn't there? In saying that, I guess it's all going to come to an end eventually when the New South Wales Department of something decides to say, Geoff, you're too old and incapable and untrustworthy to drive a vehicle anymore, and I'm going to be slightly worried until I go out and buy myself one of those electric shopping carts and drive on the footpath. Thank you very much.